Hello, this is Spartan Commander, and this is the 363rd Rome Total War Brotherhood game that I've put onto YouTube, and the first battle of 2019. As you can see, this battle was fought on a custom map, and the host of this map was a Brotherhood member, Crypto, whose army we're going to have a look at to start off with there. Right, if you notice here, Crypto's bought the Julii faction, and you might notice that he's got 4 archers. Now, what I've noticed is that a lot of people are starting to return to bringing archers to the 31k battlefield. About 8 or 9 years ago, we always used to bring 2 or 3 archers in our Roman armies. But over the years, people have just stopped bringing archers, and very often the 31k army have got no archers in at all. But I've noticed in the last month to 6 weeks that a lot of players have been bringing a lot of archers to the battlefield, and actually they've been using the archers extremely tactically and strategically. And they can be really useful to bring. Okay, let's have a look at Crypto's upgrades. Right, can you see that Crypto's got 8 upgrades on his archers? So that's 2 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. And he's got 4 archers there with those massive upgrades. So that makes those already elite archers even more elite. And I see he's got, I think it's 11 infantry, including an infantry general, his urban general there, and an eagle unit. So he's got good morale in his infantry there, an eagle unit and his general unit. So I'd say he's got about 11 infantry there. And notice he's got 5 cavalry. Let's have a look at the upgrades on his cavalry. And he's got 7 upgrades. So he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his cavalry there. I know a lot of newer players to Rome Total War like to see our army builds, so I hope you find them useful for when you build your own army. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Mars, who's bought the Rome BROTHERHOOD faction. Now I'd like to draw your attention to Mars' army build here. If you notice, he's got 6 archers here, okay, which might seem a lot of archers to bring to the modern day 31k battlefield, and only 7 heavy infantry. 7 heavy infantry, okay, and a unit you don't see very often. Okay, you can see his archers have got 6 upgrades, so that's gold shield, gold attack on his archers, okay, let's say he got 6 of those, but also the unit I was talking about there is Town Watch. Now, you don't very often see the Town Watch brought to the modern 31k battlefield, but I'm sure he will incorporate the Town Watch in his Piler Shield unit. Remember, as long as that Town Watch stands its ground, it'll soak up pilers as much as any other expensive unit. So, as I say, he's only got 7 heavy infantry. Okay, he's got an eagle unit and a general unit, infantry general unit there. So that'll give his 7 units of heavy infantry good morale there. But, as I say, 7 infantry units on a modern day battlefield. And 6 archers. Unusual army build, you could say. I see he's got 6 cavalry. Now, Mars usually brings serious cavalry. Let's have a look at his cavalry. Right, he's got fully upgraded Praetorian cavalry. That's 9 upgrades. That's 3 experience stripes, gold shield, gold attack. Now, Praetorian cavalry are elite cavalry in their own right, but you fully upgrade them, and it kind of makes them almost super cavalry. But will those 6 fully upgraded cavalry make up for only 7 heavy infantry? I guess we'll just have to see as the battle unfolds. Let's say it's an unusual army build there. 7 heavy infantry, 6 archers, and 6 fully upgraded cavalry. Okay, our next teammate is Brotherhood member Legion 22, who has bought the Macedon faction. Now, I think he's got something like 13 pike units there. And if you notice here, he's got mixed upgrades. Can you see he's got an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on these units here, which will make up his main battle line, I'm sure. And he's only got 3 upgrades, which I'm guessing is probably gold shield there on those other units, which will probably be his Piler Shield units there. Those ones with the lower upgrades will probably be his Piler Shield units, but his main battle line will have 7 upgrades on. And then he's got 6 Cretan archers. And he's got 4 upgrades, so I'm guessing that'll be an attack and a probably bronze defense there. And he's got 1 fast-moving general armoured cavalry unit there. So that's an unusual army build there, but I know Legion's very good with Macedon, so that's a tried and tested army. And our 4th teammate is unusually myself, who has unusually bought the Macedon faction. And this is an old army from years ago that I've brought to the modern day battlefield. And if you notice, the upgrades on my pikemen are all 7 upgrades. So that's an experience stripe, gold shield, gold attack on all my pike units there. And I think I've got 15 pike units. Yeah, 15, yeah. 15 pike units, and as you can see, I've got 5 Cretan archer units there as well. Obviously, the big 120-man units, as we said before, extremely susceptible to archer damage, so you need to to have that many archers. But as you can see there, both Legion and myself, apart from that one fast-moving cavalry unit he's got, have got no cavalry. Okay, now I'd just like to draw your attention here. Can you see that I've got 5 archers there? Okay, let's take a tally of how many archers we've got in our team. So that's 5, and there's 6 there, so that's 11. 11 so far. Yeah, so that's 11 so far there. And then there's 6. So that's 17. Okay, so that's 17 archers, and then how many did Crypto bring? 4. Got 4. So between us, we've got 21 archers on the modern 31k battlefield. Now that's a heck of a lot of archers to bring. But as I say, things are changing with army builds these days. As I say, I've noticed a lot of people bringing archers, and they are using them extremely effectively. This should be an interesting and great battle for you to watch. And here is the other team. We have Brotherhood member Bark, who has bought the Greek Cities faction. You can see there, I think he's got 12 Spartan units with 6 upgrades on each. That's gold shield, gold attack. And I see he's got 8 Cretan archers. Okay, so straight away you can see he's got a lot of archers there. As I say, the trend to bring in archers to the battlefield now is really changing over the last 6 weeks, months to 6 weeks. You can see Lee. Now Lee has got what we call a more traditional army build here. He's got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Okay, so you've got 17 infantry and 3 cavalry. Now, will those 3, will that 17 infantry make up for just having 3 cavalry? I guess we'll just have to see as we watch the battle there. That's certainly a lot of pilots that he can throw with 17 infantry. Okay, the next teammate is Brotherhood member Steve Longshanks, who has bought the Scipio faction. And as you can see there, 2, 4, 6, 8, 9, 10. I think he's got 11 infantry. If you look at the upgrades on his pilot shield units there, can you see he's got 1 upgrade on that pilot shield unit? I think he's got 2 upgrades on that pilot shield unit, and he's got an Eagle unit just behind them with no upgrades on at all. So of course that's his pilot shield units there. Those troops will stand their ground because they've got excellent morale, good morale. So they will soak up the pilots. But if you notice his main battle line here, most of them have got 7 upgrades on. I think there's just 1 with 6 upgrades. So the vast majority of the rest of his infantry have got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack, which makes those infantry quite tough. But I'd like to draw your attention to Steve's archers there. Can you see he's got 6 archers with 7 upgrades on? So he's got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on each one of his archers there. So once again, another movement towards archers there, as people I think are seeing how effective and efficient they could be if used properly on the modern day battlefield. I see Steve has only got 3 cavalry. I'm guessing he's probably got maybe 8. Yeah, he's got 8 upgrades. So he's got 2 experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his 3 cavalry. So once again, that's an interesting army build. Their 4th teammate is Brotherhood member Lando, or a lot of you will know him as Brotherhood member Turbo, and he has bought the Germania faction. Now he's got an interesting army build here because if you notice, I think he's got 7 chosen axemen. Okay, so we've got 7 chosen axemen. Yeah, 7 chosen axemen. Some of the and remember, these guys are effective against armor and used properly can cut wide swathes through heavily armored troops such as Roman urban cohorts. So he's got 7 of them. But if you notice, he's only got 2 berserkers. Now remember, in the 31k rules, 3 berserkers max are allowed, but he's only got 2. But remember, those 2 berserker units got 2 hit points, excellent morale, effective against armor maces, and bring a big fear factor. Also, he's got 5 archers. If you look at the upgrades, he's got 7 upgrades on his archers. We've got an experienced stripe, gold shield, gold attack on his archers. So that's an interesting army build there. And he's got 5 Gothic cavalry. Now remember, these cavalry are extremely underestimated. You have a look at their specifications. Right, can you see he's got 8 upgrades on. So he's got 2 experienced stripes, gold shield, gold attack on his Gothic cavalry. So all in all, that's a pretty good army build there. It'll be interesting to see how well it does during the course of the battle. Let's have a tally up of their archers. So that's 5. 5 of their archers there. And there were 6 there, so that's 11. Lee didn't bring any archers. That's 11 for them so far. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. Right, so they've got 19 archers total in their team against our 21 archers. Who would have thought maybe a couple of months ago you'd see so many archers on the modern day 31k battlefield? Should be a great one for you to watch. At this stage of the battle, I just thought I'd show you my block formation, and this army was custom built to try and neutralise the threat of the Greek cities, okay? Up to about, say, maybe 10 or 11 years ago, people used to use Greek cities as a defensive formation. And then about 11 or 12 years ago, people started to attack with Greek cities when they saw their excellent attacking specifications, and we started to lose a lot of battles. So that's why I made this custom army. It's about, as I say, about 11 years old or so, and I find that it does help to neutralize the Greek city threat. As I say, I experimented with lots of different armies and formations to try and neutralise the attacking Greek cities at the time, but I found this one actually suits my style of play the best for me. I say it's a nice solid block formation there. You've seen me use it in other battle videos against Greek cities, and it's a pretty formidable formation. What I like about it is that if you're attacked from the flanks, because it's such a dense formation there, all you need to do is just turn units to face a threat from either flank there, and you still keep a solid forward element of your formation there to take on any frontal attack. So as I say, you can just turn units to either flank there to face any threat coming in from the flank. So that's an interesting battle formation there. Just to give you a heads up on the team's battle plan here. Okay, my army has been bought specifically to take on the Greek cities and try and neutralise the Greek cities. Okay, Legion's bought his Macedon army here to try and neutralise Germania. Okay, so Legion will be looking to take on Germania, I'll be looking to take on the Greek cities, and our two Roman allies will be there to take on the two enemy Roman armies. Okay, so that's the initial battle plan, but let's see if we can manage to stay to that as the battle unfolds. As I say, this should be a really good one for you to watch. Okay, at this very, very early stage of the battle, where we're still just setting up, can you see Legion 22 bought his fast-moving cavalry unit over here? And your players to Rome Total War, why do you think he's bringing this fast-moving cavalry unit over to this part of the battlefield? Why is he advancing this unit so far forward from our team? Why do you think he's doing that? Now, we've seen an example of how he uses fast-moving cavalry in other battle videos, but I'm just wondering if you could think why he wants to do that. Okay, well, as you might know, the berserkers can be activated by enemy troops, either ones that have routed or ones that haven't routed. The moment they touch them or get close to these berserker units, it activates them, it sparks them off, and then the Germania general loses all control over these two units, and they'll attack the nearest enemy unit. So what Legion would like to do here is try and activate those two berserker units there with that fast moving cavalry unit. But the Germania general looks pretty switched on to me. He's got his cavalry and archers there probably watching him to make sure that he doesn't do that. But it should be an interesting thing to watch there as the battle unfolds. Okay, at this very early stage of the battle, you can see that Crypto has moved his well upgraded Julii archers forward there to try and pick off some of the advancing enemy troops. But as you can see that the enemy are advancing quite fast towards our team there, he's wisely decided to back his archers off. Remember, I think his archers had 8 upgrades, was it? 2 experienced striped, gold shield, gold attack. As you can see there, let's pause again for a second. Right, just try to draw your attention. Can you see those 2 berserker units there that obviously Legion would like to activate? Can you see he's got his cavalry unit? He's looking at them. He'd love to bring that unit round there and activate those 2 Germania berserker units off, but those Germania cavalry look like they're actually ready to cover those berserker units, so my guess is he probably won't be able to do that. As I say, there's a lot of archer action going on in this battle. As I say, we've got 21 archers and the enemy team have 19. So as I say, maybe even 2 months ago you probably wouldn't see that many archers on the modern 31k battlefield. It just seems to have kind of evolved into more archers being bought in the last month to 6 weeks, I would say. But I've noticed that people are using their archers extremely efficiently and effectively, and used correctly they can really help to be battle winning troops actually. As I say, the Germania general is very aware of that fast moving Macedon unit and is covering his berserkers with his cavalry, so I wouldn't think Legion will have much luck over there. But maybe if the Germania general drops his guard, he might be able to get that cavalry unit in and activate the berserkers. As you can see here, we got our archers all set up there, ready to ready for the actual archer war, if there's going to be an archer war. As I say, Lee, I think, is the only player on the battlefield that has no archers, but he's got 17 infantry. And you think that each one of those men in each one of those units can throw 3 pilers, so that's a lot of piler damage he can do before he even gets in to hand-to-hand combat. I notice there seems to be a lot of movement by the enemy towards our left flank. Notice the Greek cities, Germania and the SBQR units all moving over to that left flank. They may be looking to hit Crypto's Julii army there. Remember, don't forget what our battle plan is. Legion's Macedon units there to try and neutralise Germania, and my Macedon units to try and neutralise Greek cities, and our 2 Roman allies obviously to try and match the enemy Roman armies there. So that's our battle plan as it stands at the moment. Right, you can see Crypto moving his archers forward again there, I think he's trying to target the Cretan archers there, but if you notice it's Steve, remember Steve's got all those archers there and behind his SBQR army, which could really target Crypto's archers there. If you notice here, Crypto's turned his army to face the threat of Lee's army there. Right, there you go. Can you see that one of Crypto's archer units there has been reduced down to 22 men already by, I think, Steve's massed archers. Steve's got his archers in close, tight formation, so of course that helps with the impact and damage that those archers can do. There, see Steve's archers there, 6 of them in close, tight formation, so that really is a lot of impact of arrows hitting on our allies' archers there, causing a heck of a lot of damage to them. As you can see here, you can see the Greek cities general, the enemy Greek cities general taking his army over to our left flank. As I say, it looks like they're trying to target our left flank at the moment. Okay, at this stage of the battle here, as I say, you can see there's a lot of archers still in action here. Some of Bark's archers there have suffered a lot of casualties, but as I say, there's a heck of a lot of archer units here. As I say, I think they've got 19 and we've got 21. So that's a heck of a lot of archer. I mean, 40 archer units in the whole battlefield there. That's a heck of a lot of archers to bring. Who would have thought, as I said, maybe even 2 months ago, that you'd see so many archers on a modern day battlefield. Right, you can see the Greek city's army moving forward towards Crypto's army. If you notice, Crypto's moving over a little bit there, allowing my Macedon army to kind of slip in between him and our Brutii ally there to try and counter those Greek city Spartans. Meanwhile, Lee's moving his army over to the, as I say, over to our left flank there. I'd say I think Crypto's got, I think it was 11 infantry, and Lee's got 17. So as you can see, there's quite a discrepancy in numbers there between those 2 opposing armies. As you can see here, I'm moving my Greek city's army forward there to try and neutralise that Greek city threat. Now, whether the Greek city's general will want to advance onto my Macedon army, I don't know. He may well still want to go for my Julii ally there. As you can see, he's moving units over to try and attack my Julii ally. Right, can you see here, Steve Longshanks being very aggressive with his SBQR army, running forward here on our right flank. Okay, very, very aggressive. He can see that all that's in front of him at the moment is basically archers. So his army could push through those archers there and do a right flanking action on our army there. Just pushing straight through. You still got his archers and 3 cavalry units at the back there. But he is a little bit, as you say, his archers is shooting into us all the time, but he is a little bit isolated for cavalry support there. Let's say all their archers are shooting into us. Now, just thinking, if our allies manage to combine their cavalry over on this flank, that could cause Steve a little bit of problems here. As you can see, Steve running forward there, pushing forward into our archers there, the soft units, if you like, of our army there as he pushes forward. Very aggressive move here by Steve and his SBQR army. It'll be interesting to see how he managed to counter that attack, because as I can see at the moment, all he needs to do is move around to that right flank and he can easily flank our Brutii ally there. Right, you see there's some Greek city units moving into our Brutii ally there. 3 units, but the main Spartan army is still moving over to our left flank towards our Julii ally. Let's just pause again for a minute, because if you notice that Steve's brought his 6 archers forward here, and can you see who he's targeting? Yes, he's targeting my Macedon army. Okay, now remember, those 120 man units of mine are extremely susceptible to missile damage. So Steve shooting loads of arrows into my units here is going to cause me a lot of casualties. Okay, and that's why he's actually doing that. And also you've got Cretan archers out there as well, probably shooting into my Macedon units, trying to cause me a lot of casualties. Of course, I can't bring my archers forward to get them in range because Steve's SBQR infantry are pushing them back. Although I might just be able to be in range there. But can you see our allies' cavalry at the back there? And Steve's cavalry is a long way away from his infantry. Now, as I say, if our allies can combine their cavalry there, they could smash into Steve's army there and maybe cause him a few problems. as I say, his cavalry are a while away. Right, you can see here, you can see that our Julio ally here is facing both SPQR and Greek city units. So, as I say, probably I will move my block formation of Macedon troops over and maybe even integrate my Macedonians into my allies' Julio units there. And then we'll have a combination of Julii and Macedon pikemen there facing SPQR and Greek cities. Right, can you see I'm moving my pike army across there to support my Julii ally. Okay, so both Crypto and my army now are integrated here, facing the threat of SPQR and those Greek city units. Okay, just going to pause the game for a second now. Do you remember we were talking about our right flank, saying that Steve was a little bit isolated over there, and if our allies could combine their cavalry, they could really cause him some problems, and both those cavalry have charged into Steve's infantry there. And that is a massive cavalry hit there that he's taken, and his cavalry are a while away there to be able to help, and they're a bit further away than maybe he might have wanted there, but also he's got no close allied support there either. And he's just been smashed, and there's a Bruto cavalry going in, and bang! As that cavalry smashes into Steve's SPQR troops. Steve is counter-attacking with his cavalry, and bang! As those SPQR cavalry charge in. But I think Crypto's red Julii cavalry, and remember that Mars' cavalry is fully upgraded. Okay, Mars' cavalry is fully upgraded there, so this is a massive cavalry hit there by both Crypto and Mars. A great combination cavalry hit there. Nice bit of team play by those two. The enemy are now kind of reacting to that hit. I see Lee has brought some infantry units across there. But if you notice, Crypto maybe have left his cavalry in a bit too long there. He should have pulled that cavalry back, and bang, as that SPQR reinforcement cavalry hits, and now Crypto's lost all his cavalry. Okay, so our Julio ally now has lost all of his cavalry there. I'm surprised he didn't pull them back there, because he must have seen the threat coming in, but maybe they didn't respond as quick as he wanted to. So basically now all we've got is our Brutii cavalry left now. That's all we've got cavalry-wise, as we've just lost our Julii cavalry. You see our right flank is in a little bit of a what I call delicate position there, because if you notice, we've only got a few Brutii units there against all those SPQR troops. The 2 Berserker units haven't been activated yet, and the Germania cavalry as well. Okay, over here on our left centre, you can see I've got my Macedon pikemen there, as I say, integrated with our ally there, our Julii ally, but the Greek city units are pushing in onto my Macedon units there. But over on our left flank, you see Lee is moving infantry round, and you can see that Germania General has moved his axemen round here, looking to do a left flanking action. But Legion has spotted that and has strategically placed his Macedonians there, ready to cover our left flank if they try that. But as I say, at the moment, what's really worrying is our right flank. As I say, there's a lot of enemy SPQR troops, plus the 2 Berserker units, plus the Germania cavalry, plus some SPQR cavalry out there as well. And as you can see, all we've got is some battle damaged Brutii infantry at the moment. But I've noticed that our Julio ally Crypto here, using battlefield awareness, okay, something we've talked about before, is moving some reinforcements over to our right flank to try and shore up our right flank. Now remember, battlefield awareness is keeping one eye on what's happening in front of you and one eye on what's happening across the battlefield. Okay, and that's what we talk a lot about in the Brotherhood, battlefield awareness. And Crypto spotted here, his awareness is very, very keen here. As you can see, he's brought Julio units over here to support our right flank. You can see our Bruto ally is in a lot of trouble over here on the right flank from prolonged attack with big numbers, and so he sent reinforcements over. As you can see here, my pikemen are still fighting against Greek cities and SPQR. There's a few Julio units still in there helping, and the left flanking action that Germania and Lee was doing with his SPQR troops looks like it's going to be neutralized by Legion moving his Macedonians over to our left flank. Okay, so there's a lot going on the battle at the moment. We still got Morris's cavalry out on that right flank, but as I say, our right flank to me still looks a bit of a problem, but we'll see as the battle unfolds. Right, can you see Legion charging his pikemen right in, and bang, makes contact with Lee's SPQR units and puts his pikes down. Okay, so he runs in with his pikes up, makes contact with SPQR, and bang, puts his pikes down. Nice strategic hit there by Legion. But But as I say, our right flank is a thing that's worrying me a little bit here, looking at the enemy numbers and looking what support we've actually got out there. Okay, just like to draw your attention here, can you see the Greek cities are making inroads into the centre of my formation? Okay, but if you notice in front of them, they've got solid Macedonian pikes that they've got to try and fight through, and also their flanks are now exposed for me to close in with my pikemen on either side like a vice attack. Can you see that? So they're going to be trying to fight forward against really solid Macedon pikemen as I bring pike units in from their flank, squeezing them like a vice. So those Greek city units could well be routed there if I can tactically use my pikemen, as I should be able to there, and squeeze them like a vice. You can see some SBQR cavalry charging in there. You can see loads of archers shooting into us all the time. But as I say, our right flank is what's bothering me at the moment. I just hope we can hold there, because make no mistake, if the enemy rout us on that right flank, they will roll us up from right to left. Right, can you see the Brutio cavalry charging? And bang! There's our allies' Brutio cavalry charging, but the 2 berserker units have just been activated. Okay, so you can see the red banners flashing above those 2 berserker units. Turbo has just activated those 2 units there, and they will now charge at the nearest enemy unit, which is Mars's cavalry. Now remember, Mars's cavalry is fully upgraded, so they will stand their ground and they will fight for a long time. But with the numbers are up against plus the berserkers, I don't know whether they'll be able to hold. As you can see, Crypto has brought over reinforcements here to face the SBQR threat on our right flank and right centre. As you can see here, as you can see here, I'm closing in on those Greek cities. Remember, we saw those Greek city units were advancing into the centre of my formation, and I'm just turning pike units on either side of those Greek cities there and squeezing them like a vice. Can you see there? I'm just moving. See those long pikes of my Macedonians just moving in all around them there, squeezing and taking out those Greek city units. Okay, and now I'm going to advance through them towards the other Greek cities and the enemy SBQR troops there. So yes, he did make inroads into my pike formation there, but unfortunately for him, he was squashed from either side there like a vice attack. As you can see here, Legion's moved over to our left flank there, but if you notice, the Germania general has tactically moved his Germania army round behind us. Now this could make the difference. This could be a pivotal part of the battlefield here, as those Germania troops move around the rear. Okay, as I say over here, remember, Mars's cavalry are fully upgraded, so they're going to be fighting basically really almost to the last man here. But those berserker units bring such a big fear factor, especially with those effective against armor maces.
The gods be praised! The enemy general is dead! His men know their doom approaches!
Mars's cavalry have just been routed, okay? So we now have lost all our cavalry, okay? We have no more cavalry left. So both Crypto's and Mars's cavalry, after a terrific fight, has now been lost. We've got no cavalry left at all. As I say, over here on the right flank, you can see enemy SBQR troops and enemy Greek cities there attacking our right flank. Meanwhile here, I'm advancing forward with my pikes into the enemy SBQR troops and into those Greek city units there as well. I've got some Julii support, but as I say, those Germania effective against armour axemen are now behind us. And as I say, this could prove pivotal to the outcome of the battle when they attack. As I say, they're effective against armour, and our Macedonian troops are heavily armoured, so those axemen will make big inroads into our armies. My pikemen are probably already tired, which lowers their morale a bit, and being smashed into the rear by those effective against armour axemen could just tip the balance here. See those Germanian axemen going in, bang, as those axemen hit, and then the next wave going, and bang, as those axemen hit straight into the rear of our units. Luckily for my Macedonians there, I see my Julii ally is taking the brunt of those Germania axemen there. But as you can see, my army now and some of my Julii units are being squashed from the front and the rear. Meanwhile, over on our right flank, I think that's my Macedonian general's just been taken out. Meanwhile, over on our right flank, you can see the berserker units have now come into play, attacking what's left of our allied army. Remember, we are the green and the blue over here on the right flank. Okay, sorry, the green and the red, sorry. We're Julii and Brutio over here on the right. And as you can see, we're being engulfed by enemy numbers. Here, my army is being attacked from the rear by those Germania axemen, and I'm being attacked from the front by SBQR and Greek cities. But as I say, the thing that's really worrying me is our right flank.
betrayed! The enemy general is killed!
You can see a lot of the enemy troops there are concentrating on our right flank. Remember, as I say, we're the green and the red on the right. Okay, can you see some of the SBQ cavalry charging in? And bang! Is that cavalry charging in? Lee charging into my allies' Julii units at the rear of my Macedonian army.
The leader of the allies has been slain. This loss
was a nice cavalry hit there by him.
Still for his own people.
Okay, so I'm just going to pause the game for a moment to show you what's happened. Okay, so our right flank and right centre, after a terrific fight, has now been broken. Okay, so make no mistake, our right flank and right centre has now been broken, and the enemy will look to roll us up from right to left. Okay, so Crypto and Mars did extremely well on that right flank, but after a terrific fight, it has been broken. Their archers are shooting into us all the time. They're probably targeting my Macedonian army, trying to kill as many of my pikemen as they can with those archers. But as I say, as I said to you all the way through this battle, the right flank and right centre has been worrying me, and it has finally broken, and they will now look to roll us up from right to left here. My Macedonian army has suffered loads of casualties, not only from hand-to-hand fighting, but from loads of archer hits as well. And it wouldn't surprise me, and I've lost my general, so as you know, Macedon morale's not very good, and those berserkers are just hitting, and bang, as those berserkers go in. So my army may mass rout here. We just have to wait and see. If my army mass routes and they run into Legion's army, that could cause his army to mass rout as well. So as I say, the enemy will be looking to roll us up from right to left here. As I say, I'm taking the brunt of the attack here on the right flank. I can see Legion's army in behind me though. I'm just hoping he's going to send some pikemen over quickly, because I'm not sure how long I'm going to be able to hold out there against such an aggressive attack by the enemy. See that Germania cavalry charging in, and bang, as that Germania unit smashes in. Now my guess is that Legion's going to send pikes up around the rear, so he's going to go round to my right and round to my left with pike units there to get in behind the enemy. If he can get in behind the enemy fighting troops, are obviously charging in from the rear will cause them more problems. But I see a lot of the enemy units are starting to rout. Remember, there's loads of archer fire going on from both sides all the time through this battle. Fire arrows and normal arrows as well being used. I see some of our Julii allies units have rallied and come back into the fray. I see that the SBQ general has just been routed there. And it looks like we've
filled the enemy general with fear.
We've managed to go on and,
like a coward.
And win this battle here. As I say, there was about 40 archer units in this battle, and you can't underestimate how many casualties all those archer units are causing, especially to the big 120-man units. My guess is because they were targeting my army loads there, so I would have lost loads. Look at the units. Remember, these are 120-man units. 37, 44 men left. Only 22 in my general unit. 31, 17, 24. As I say, these are 120-man units, so you can see how they've been reduced. Probably by mostly, well, it's hand-to-hand fighting, but loads of those casualties would have been caused by missile damage there. So that's all my troops left. That's everything I got left now. So we're just going to finish off. I think there's some enemy archers left to finish off. I'll just fasten up the game a little bit there. As I say, sometimes when the battle seems, you know, when it's actually lost, it might be a good idea just to admit, and then we can get back into the lobby and host a new battle. But some players like to like to carry on right to the bitter end, if you like. But as I say, after our right flank was broken there, I really did think we may well have had it there. We'd have been rolled up from right to left there. Okay, just going to pause the game for it, just to show you the intensity of this battle. Right, do you remember here, this was a cavalry battle where Mars was fighting those berserkers, and Germania cavalry and SBQ cavalry there. But you can see it's mostly all cavalry dead there, if you look closely. Mostly cavalry dead. So that was a massive cavalry battle there. And as we move across the battlefield here, you can see the piles of dead as we move across, just to show the intensity of this battle. And as we move further, can you see the charred bodies here of where these men were killed by fire arrows? Okay, And if you notice, if you look at the shadows of those, if you look at the bodies there, they're mostly Macedonian pikemen. And if you notice, they're moving over towards my army. So that's men that I've lost there. But look at the dead around my Macedonian army. See those massive Spartan, red cloaked Spartans there? As I say, this was a very intense battle from one side to the other. Even over here where a legion was fighting on our left flank, you can see the piles of bodies there. So I say it was a very intense battle there. As I say, it's our first battle for 2019, and I hope you've enjoyed it. But as I say, I thought after our right flank was broken there, we would have probably lost the gone on to lost the battle. So we've managed to turn things around here, and we're just mopping up the last of the enemy units there. Okay, first thing I'd like to say is well done to everybody in the game there. Everybody played well, really well played to everybody there. And as you can see, it says average victory. Well, I'd have thought after what I saw there, it would have been more of a close victory to there. So, as I say, we may well have just scraped into the average category there. But I thought it was close. Just like to draw your attention to Turbo Orlando's Germania army there. Highest kills of the game. Now, bearing in mind he's in the losing team, to get the highest kills of the game is quite unusual. 1,756 for Germania. So really well done to him. I bet a lot of those casualties were from archers. Steve probably didn't get the kills that he wanted, but of course he was smashed quite early by 2 big cavalry hits. So that's probably why he didn't get the kills that he would have wanted there. If you notice, Bark, 1,473, so well done to him. And that old Macedon army of mine, might be 11 or 12 years old, got quite good kills. I think I got managed to get the second highest kills, so well done to that old Macedon army of mine. Crypto probably didn't get the kills that he wanted there, but he had good battlefield awareness. I like the support that he used there to support our right flank. So as I say, it's nice to see archers making kind of a bit of a re-emergence to the 31k battlefield. As I say, up to about 8 or 9 years ago, we always used to bring archer units with our armies, but then over the years, people just stopped bringing archers. But as I say, in the last month to 6 weeks, I've seen archers being used again in big numbers and really effective. So this is Spartan Commander saying, hope you enjoyed our first battle for 2019. Look forward to seeing you soon, and bye for now.